Kia ora.
Kia ora!
Good to be here, Koe.
Kei te pai ahau.
Oh, pai ana. It's good to see you again, brother.
I see you too, my bro.
Um, how's it been, after all the being at the Freedom Village for so long and just having similar like-minded people here, and obviously they were there as well, and just grounding yourself here?
This has been a really grounding experience and a healing experience for myself, and I can see the nervous systems of the family around me just getting more and more settled over the couple of days we've been here. So I just really hope that people out there in the rest of the country or anywhere where they've gone through similar trauma can gather and just take some time out from life and wind down. It's really beautiful to be here.
What are the key elements from the Freedom Village that you saw that were just very life-changing, or something that you never would have figured that would have happened or seen or done down there? Good, bad, ugly, or anything in between?
I wouldn't say I wouldn't have expected to see anything, because I have a lot of faith in humanity, in our generosity and our unconditional love, and that's what I saw there. Just this abundance of unconditional love and generosity and commitment to co-create this village, even though there were so many diverse ways of being and beliefs and faiths and all that sort of stuff there. So it was just really beautiful, and it just grew on me more and more. And as I settled into it, I was just like, yeah, this is where we need to be living from now on, this sort of environment where it was just people showing up the best they can and working hard to make it work. So it was really beautiful. I loved it there, and I also feel like we've had that experience now, and I don't think it's a new experience. I think that's really an ancient way of living in village and community, and I'm confident we can co-create that wherever we go now, even if it's just for a couple of days at a time.
And seeing the brutality as well. I've seen you were on the front line a few times as well. What did you think that the force that was used was necessary or extreme, or anything else that you would have seen?
I think it was extreme and necessary. I'm aware that in other countries they quite often use real bullets and they use their batons and things like that, but that doesn't make what happened okay. I think it's unfortunate that our police chose to use such force. I think it's the only way they're used to figuring things out in that sort of scale. I didn't think there was a time where I was like, we're too settled now, they can't come in and use force. We've got families here, we've got old people here. But I think they just wore us down and scared away people until they felt like they could move in and try and catch us by surprise, even though it wasn't that much of a surprise. We felt it coming. But yeah, I'm really disappointed in those individual police officers for the way that they conducted themselves. And I'm disappointed in those that gave the orders. And I'm not surprised in those that gave the orders to those that gave the orders. And saying that, I did hear a couple of stories. There's one in particular, a friend of mine, she was dragged out of her van while she was sitting there with her eyes closed, singing "You Are My Sunshine." Oh, this little light of mine, she was singing "This Little Light of Mine" in her van, dragged out brutally, thrown on the concrete, and brutally handcuffed by a man cop. And there was a woman cop there doing her best to get this guy to chill the fuck out the whole time. And even when he was dragging her down the road with her elbows and shoulders right up, this other cop was trying to ease it, and she was doing her best to minimize the force that he was using. And he was determined to be forceful, and this woman was determined to look after my friend. So I just want to honor those moments. That's just one that I heard of, and I just want to honor any cop that was there who actually did their best to minimize the force used on that day, because those moments mean a lot.
Yeah, thank you for reminding that. And that's what I say to everyone, that the police, just like any other religion, belief, or group of people, is you can have a handful of silly monkeys, right? I mean, not everyone's going to be perfect on point or low as well. So there's just a handful of them that just took it out of their own hands, literally.
Yeah, and same goes for us. Same goes for the freedom fighters. We had some silly monkeys in there as well. We had some people that were getting drunk and making a nuisance of themselves, and we had some people abusing people walking past. We had some people aggravating the cops. So, yeah, it was happening on both sides.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Totally agree. I know you know this question, but maybe it's changed for what's happened so far. What is your one message from here in Aotearoa to the rest of the nation and to the rest of the world about the current situation, or the consequences if we don't change what's happening?
Yeah, this is, especially in this country where we can look at the police brutality we suffered, it's not as severe as other countries squashing their citizens. So I think it's really important that people that feel the injustice and feel the importance to speak up and stand up, I really feel that now is the time. There's a global agenda that is crumbling because a lot of people are waking up, and that those dark forces are going to get desperate and they're going to thrash as they're dying. So we need to not let them have their way, and it's going to be uncomfortable for some people to speak up and stand up, and going to put ourselves at risk of being verbally abused or arrested or whatever. Now is the time. It's such a crucial time in humanity's evolution, and I feel like we're finally at a turning point where we can turn towards the light. It's going to get messy, it's going to get ugly. The current living situation with this, the living crisis of what it costs to live as a human being in this country right now is going to put the squeeze on so many people. So it could get messy, but we just need to stand up, speak up, but we also need to look after each other. We need to come into communities as much as possible, and we also need to do our internal work and look after our own systems, because I've got good guys and bad guys inside of me. I've got positive voices and negative voices. I've got parts of me that serve me and others, and I've got parts of me that don't serve me and others. So we need to sort that out so we're not dragging any of that forward as we move into these really powerful times. So I think if I can summarize that, do our own work, look after our relationships with people around us, find your tribe, because a lot of us have figured out that our so-called friends are not really friends. Some of our family are not going to be there for us. Some of our employers are going to be happy to let us go. So it is time to find tribe that are going to be able to be leaned upon and counted on when we need it.
Thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for doing your great work, bro. And I just want to honor you. You were there solidly. I remember you from day one, and I remember you from Ash Wednesday, and you were there solidly through the whole thing. And I just want to give love to your healing body, because I know you got roughed up and I know you got pushed around, and I didn't get that so much physically. So I just want to honor you and the fact that you're still helping these stories get out there, and hopefully the right people will hear them. I trust they will, and they'll get what they need from them. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I won't stop to the day I die.
Yee-hoo!
What's up, I'm Terrell. I'm Blingaloo.